Can't use the music here. Let's do some resin stuff.
Here's another Resin video. How to make a hollow casting for Christmas decorations. Please remember to like and subscribe. Brooks has been doing this for 8 years and could use the help in the algorithm. Let's get started, shall we?
Hi guys, welcome back to my shop. Tonight we are making Christmas ornaments, or actually hollow molds, hollow castings. Yes, I still trip over my words, I always will, and it is what it is. Christmas ornament. Let's say you have a favorite Christmas ornament you want to make. I'm going to show you how to do that tonight. I'm not actually making a Christmas ornament like this. I'm actually making this guy, but it's the same principle. I'm going to show you how to do the hollow mold. This guy is just it's a Star Wars Death Star Christmas ornament, which I had laying around. It's a standard Christmas ornament as anything from a tree. You can paint it, whatever you want to do. And it's usually made from a mold like this. Now, this is a store-bought mold. I didn't buy this mold. As you can see, it pops apart. You pour, close it. You pour your resin in the top. There's a hole there. It fills up. And you can leave it sit and dry. And it would be solid. Now, the problem with that, yeah, it would work. And it would be just fine. You're going to use so much product to make it solid. And if you ever noticed, your Christmas ornaments, normal Christmas ornaments, are always hollow. I'm going to show you how to make the hollow ones tonight with white resin. I'm only showing you this because we're going to do it a little bit different way. But this is a store-bought mold. I'm going to set this aside. This guy here is hollow. It's not a Christmas ornament, but it's going to be the same principle. So hopefully you can apply it to make any Christmas ornament, or if you want to make one of these, you can make one of these. But it's going to be hollow inside. So imagine how much resin it would take to make this solid. And resin's expensive, let's face it. We're going to be working with white resin tonight. The brand I have chosen is called Let's Resin Polyurethane. We are not going to be using my reusable molding compound tonight. I know in the last video I showed you how to make that. I've actually made this mold from Umu 30. And I'll explain how I made it. It's very easy, very, very easy, especially if you've made any kind of mold before. Very easy. So let's get right into it, and I'll change the cameras, and I will show you what to do. Now, I realize this mold has already been made, but I want to show you the process of how to make yourself your hollow casting. I'm just going to go over real quick how I made this mold. It's not that hard. If you've worked with resin before and molding compound, it's all the same. This is just a different size. This is a lot larger mold than I normally work with. And if you could see, it's in the shape of a container. In this case, I think it was a ricotta cheese container. And what I did is I took my master, this guy right here. I put it on the bottom of a ricotta cheese container. I hot glued it down there. And then I filled it up with Umu 30. And then I waited. And when it got hard, and I got my little mold here. To get it out, I cut down this side and I cut down this side. And as you can see, it's opening not quite like a book, but it's opening enough that I was able to get my master out. And then we close it back up, and you can see how it would work. Now, to hold it together, I'm simply going to use some rubber bands. I have to be careful because in Pennsylvania, we say gum bands. So I'm taking a gum band, rubber band, whatever. We have a lot of weird colloquialisms up here in Pennsylvania. And I'm just going to put like 3 across there. You can use masking tape if you want. But one thing I do like about not using the reusable molding compound, because I can't use rubber bands on the reusable molding compound. It just goes right through and cuts it. I'm going to put these 3 gum bands on here. There, I said it again. Can't help it. And that's holding it together. And we're going to show you what to do next. Something else I wanted to add about the ricotta cheese container that I used to pour this mold. After I cut the container off of the mold, save the bottom. I cut this bottom off because we need that bottom when we pour. And you're going to see why here in a little bit. But save your bottom so you can put it back on there. Now, before I start, I want to talk a little bit about the resin that I'm using. Like I said, I'm using the Let's Resin polyurethane resin. It's a part A and B resin. Most white resins are epoxy polyurethane, and they are part A and B, where you match one to the other and then you mix, and you only have a little bit of time to get it done. They're about a 10-15 minute resin, and then you have your product. That's why we're using it tonight, because the process I'm going to show you is a shorter period. Otherwise, it's going to take 6 hours to do what I'm about to show you. I've had good luck with the Amazing Cast. Any white resin really works for this. The clear cast resin that takes 6 hours, it would work, but you might have to get a machine to spin it. Like, I'm going to show you how to spin it. Obviously, we're doing something special, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to spin it. But, yeah, we're just working with white resin tonight. And, well, let's just go. Once again, I can't remind you enough. Put some gloves on and make sure you have proper ventilation. And because if you do this in an enclosed area, the fumes, they have a tendency, they can make you sick. So let's do this the safe way. The gloves I'm using, they're just regular latex gloves, no big deal. But you definitely want to use them. It's important, trust me. I know some people that have had, it's called chemical pneumonia, and you don't want that. So I have my ventilation going right now. I don't know if you can hear it over the microphone or not. I have a big blow fan in the over there. So, okay, here goes part B. You can do this in any order. It's just the one I grabbed. Part A. And I'm only using a little bit. I'm only using about a half a shot glass, equal parts. You don't need enough to fill up the whole mold to do what we're doing. But I want to have enough to make it sturdy. And I'm actually just guesstimating at this point in time. But it's not going to matter, and you'll see why here in a minute. I'm just going to stir it up. La, 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 la. I'm going to stir this for about 20 to 30 seconds till I start feeling it getting warm in my hand. And it's actually pretty nice down here, so it's starting to get warm. I want to make sure there's no swirlies in there. If you can see, it's a nice consistency. It's right where it needs to be. This isn't like the clear resin. You don't have a lot of time. You only have about maybe 2 minutes to play around with it before you pour it in. And I'm just going to just dump it in there. I know you're like, oh my God, you can't do that. You can't do that. Yes, you can. I'm going to show you why. That resin's in there. I need to put my cap back on it. And now for the time-consuming part of it and why I saved the bottom. We're going to swirl that mold around. Swirl it around, swirl it around, swirl it around, spin it very slowly at first. Make sure you get everything covered. Picture in your mind how this liquid would go. And then we're going to start this motion. Maybe you can see in the other one. We're going to start this motion. And every once in a while, it'll spill out. So make sure you have something underneath you to catch it. Otherwise, you're going to ruin your favorite comfy pants. And we're just going to spin it. And unfortunately, you got to spin this for 10 minutes. At least. Now, I already made a mistake. I threw my cup in the garbage. Normally, I set my cup here and I watch my cup until the leftover resin, whatever's in there, starts getting hard. Then I know I can stop spinning. Well, I made that mistake and I threw it in the garbage because I haven't made a hollow mold in a while. So I'm just going to sit here and spin for 10 minutes, literally. I should put some funky music. Yeah, I'll probably get copyright striked on that. So I will skip through this, but this is what you do. Just get it everywhere. Now, this is my bottom. It's also the bottom of the unit. I have to keep doing this with the arm while I explain it. The bottom of, well, the bottom. This is the bottom part. And I don't want it to be top heavy. So I want to spend a lot of time leaving the excess on the bottom of the mold, which it goes like this. Like, my cameraman still sucks. Oh, wait, I'm the cameraman. The bottom of the casting is going to be where that cap is. If you can see, I'm having a hard time twisting my arm. I don't want to stop spinning this, though. So I want to spin and make sure the entire casting gets this resin in it. And if there's any left over, and if it's going to stick somewhere, like fall somewhere, I want it to fall on the bottom. That way my piece here won't be top heavy. Same with the Christmas ornament. And you have to kind of experiment back and forth how much resin you want to use in each thing you make. Like, I'm only like 2 minutes into this, and my arms are already getting tired. But, you know, I'm all about doing it cheaply. There are machines that'll do this for you that you can actually build if you want to go that far into it. I've never took the time to do it. I don't make a lot of hollow castings. The one I'm making tonight it just came upon me and somebody ordered it. And I'm like, all right, I didn't have any already made. And then, you know, sometimes switch hands, give one hand a break. I'm just going to keep doing this motion. Like imagine it in there, turn it this way sometimes. And the longer time goes on, do it a little slower because it's starting to get thick. I can feel the mold getting a little warm. But I want to make sure all these details here get in the casting. Now you see why we put the plastic on covering the hole. Turn it like this a little bit. Any direction you can think of. For especially the first 5 minutes, because after 5 minutes it really starts to turn into goo. And then after about 5 minutes you can set it down this way with the bottom facing down so you get any excess on the bottom so it's not top heavy. I think we're good. I'm going to let this sit for a minute or so and we'll get the results. My arms are tired.
I reckon about 8 minutes later.
Okay, we're back, and hopefully it's cured. It's been about 12 to 15 minutes, something like that. First I'm going to do is pop off the bottom. Every once in a while this will stick a little bit, so do it gently. And okay, we're good. We're good. Oh, that's good. I just kind of want to tap and make sure it's not too uncured. I think we're going to be okay. I'll take my gum bands off. You can laugh at me for that. I don't care. Gum bands. Rubber bands for the rest of you. Is Pennsylvania the only state that calls it gum bands? I'd like to know. Leave it in the comments. Okay, so I got the gum bands off. I want to split it down the sides. Looks good so far. Looks good so far. Seeing that on camera? Good, 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 good. Okay, so you got the 1/2 off. All right, all right. And gently pull it off the sides here. Being careful not to ruin my mold either. So far, so good. I'm just going to gently wiggle it. And hopefully it'll pop right out. There it comes. There it comes. My mold's still in good shape. I can use that again. And there he is. There he is. Not a bad casting. Not a bad casting. So like I said, if you're using a Christmas ornament or anything, you might require to be a hollow mold, a little figurine, anything. It's still very warm though. It's still very warm. And that's okay. Now we got to see if it's going to be top heavy or not. And the best way to tell that is to set it down. Oh, we're good. It's a little bottom heavy, but that's okay. You know, weebles wobble, but they don't fall down because they were bottom heavy. I can tell the bottom part has a little excess. I might have used a little too much resin, but I can also tell because it's not completely done. I can feel that it's a lot thinner on the top, but when it's completely cures, it's going to be perfect. And that's a good casting. Like I said, you can do this with, let's switch to the good camera. So I feel it came out pretty nice. And like I said, I mean, you know, this is, I explained how to make this kind of a mold, Umu 30. The reusable molding compound doesn't work with white resin. That's why we're using Umu 30. This mold that I bought online, it's a nice mold. It works, the same principle. You close it up, and then you fill it. And then after you fill it, put a piece of tape over there. And like I said, don't fill it the whole way up, unless that's what you want. Just put a little bit of resin in there, and then put a piece of tape over this hole right here where you poured. And then try to keep your finger on here while you do the little dance of the spinning. You know, I don't know, turn some disco lights on. I don't know, make a game of it. And they'll come out the exact same way. Where'd I put the other guy? It'll come out like this. And this is more closer. Well, this is a Christmas ornament. It'll come out. But Christmas ornaments aren't always just circular. In this case, this guy was not circular. But it came out very nice. In fact, you know what? I'll go one step further. Let me show you how to paint it. Okay, so I realized that painting it would make this video way too long. So let me just tell you what I did. I have this. This has worked really well for me on the white resin. It's a Rust-Oleum 2X Ultra Cover, any color you want. In this case, we're using metallic gold. And put a coat of paint on it. It's dry now. Here's the original. And here's the one that we made. And actually, the one we made is a little bit brighter than the other one. So I'm happy with the way it came out. I don't know what else much to say about this. That's the process. It's worked very well for me over the years. Saves a lot of resin. Takes a little extra time, but I got more time than money to spend. So I hope that helps you holiday hobbyists make your Christmas decorations or any other thing that's applicable. And I will catch you next time. Leave it in the comments if you have a question or, I don't know, a new idea for me to do a video for. I'm up for it. All right, bye.
Enjoy making crafts for Christmas? Leave a comment or suggestion for the video. See you next time.
It's just Bruce, he don't bite. Hello.